Hello and welcome to my first video since I returned from beautiful Italy. If you've not seen that video yet, it's over on my main channel and it's called On Garda because the wife and I spent a week at Lake Garda in northern Italy. And I'm recording at a time when I know it's going to be very, very quiet here on the nature reserve because in a few minutes' time, the finals of the European Football Championship, whatever it is, that kicks off in Germany and the match is between England and Spain. Now, it's not that I'm unpatriotic, it's just I don't care for football. However, if you're watching this in England, the chances are you'll be seeing it after the match, so either well done England or hopefully this video will give you a laugh and help soften the blow. So today, we'll just look at some people being exceptionally weird on the internet. Weird even for the internet, beginning with a couple. An interracial couple, nothing wrong with that, and a couple with a large age gap. Again, nothing wrong with that. Or so you would think.
We're an interracial age gap couple. Of course people stare at us when we go in the building.
We're an interracial age gap couple. Of course people think that he's my grandson, but he's actually my husband.
We're an interracial age gap couple. Of course I do all the cooking.
Baby, you don't like my cooking?
I do. I just make sure it's very well seasoned.
We're an interracial age gap couple. And of course, people assume that he got with me for money and my good credit.
We're an interracial age gap couple. Of course we're starting a family because our family doesn't approve our love.
We're an interracial age gap couple. Of course I still got that wop because it never dried out.
Usually, I'd say there's nothing wrong with younger men dating older women. But our mate there looks like he's dug her up and reanimated her. Seriously, does he live in a castle? And every time there's a thunderstorm, he stood up on the battlement screaming, "They said I was mad!" And if you look at her shirt, all the pictures on it are of his face. That's different level crazy. So they get a lot of attention when they're out together. I bet they do. I'm guessing the average man, woman, or attention-seeking non-binary they-them on the street would be wondering, where's the set of the horror film those two have just wandered off of? And that she thinks that people think he's her grandson? I would have gone for carer. For the rest of it, though, I think they're being deliberately provocative. Saying that they're going to start a family, we all know that's a lie. You would need less lubrication to restart a V8 engine that's been seized since the 1950s than to get her tunnel of love going again. And she says she has a WAP. I'll try and say this without being sick. That refers to a wet ass pussy, which I believe was a song by Cardi B. And of course, Cardi B makes music for women who say, "My children are my whole world," but you know their kids are in custody with her mother. And the stuff about he's with her for her credit score and her money. Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Love may be blind, but it isn't fucking stupid. He's waiting for her to drop. So let's leave the lovebirds now and see a very smug lady lecturing us on, what else, gender ideology.
If Republicans want to ban talking about gender in school, then they need to stop talking about boys and girls, women and men, because a two-gender system is also a gender ideology.
I think the point that our new friend is failing to grasp is that terms like woman and man and girl and boy, they make sense. And the gender binary isn't an ideology, it's a provable biological fact. It has worked fine for millennia, until very recently, when I believe people looked at some of the inmates in the asylums and went, "They're not really hurting anyone, are they? We should let them out." But let's try and illustrate this. This next clip, look very carefully. Can you honestly tell this person was born a man? So that's a man wearing a girdle to compress his overweight stomach, whilst also wearing a bra to support the breasts he hasn't got. I didn't force him to post that on the internet. I'm not blackmailing the guy. He did it of his own free will. Now, I've got 2 clips coming. It is one clip that I've split into 2, so we can look at it more in depth. It's been a long time since we've looked at a good old-fashioned conspiracy theory. Strap yourselves in.
It's much worse than you can possibly imagine. It's way beyond doppelgangers. It's like that movie Oblivion, where this pyramid ship drops off clones and then divides everybody into 15-minute districts as they spray us like bugs and terraform the planet and essentially poison the food, the air, the water, surround us with death towers. That's basically what's going on. And the evidence here of celebrity clones is just beyond doubt. There is something going on. People need to investigate this phenomenon as much as anything else. And it looks like these things have been traveling through time. Greta Thunberg clones everywhere. Not only on TV, but basically in real life, in your area.
Where to begin with this? I think the easiest way to debunk this conspiracy theory is to simply state some people look quite a lot like other people. And that's it. If we look here, I bear a resemblance to Rob Halford and also Ming the Merciless. Now, I am not the homosexual frontman of British rock legends Judas Priest, nor am I trying to kill Flash Gordon. Also, many of those celebrities who we've seen so far and will go on to see, they were alive at the same time. Now, we've all seen Back to the Future too. You can't see your future self. And if that sounds ridiculous, I still think that level of scientific theory trumps the conspiracy theory. Then we saw Katy Perry simply pass out on stage. Something I believe she's done a number of times. Don't quote me on it, but I believe Miss Perry has a number of neurological conditions. Then there were clearly some extras from a film falling over, and the last person to go over, it's not that clear. I'm guessing maybe it's President Biden. Would it be a shock that Joe's fell over again? That guy bugs over more often than I do walking round here. But then talk of death towers and spraying us with chemicals. Oh joy, has 2020 come round again? Now, I only downloaded that video from Twitter a few days ago, so I'm guessing it's fairly modern. Are the Tinfoil Brigade seriously trying to get back into the whole 5G conspiracy bullshit and harping on about chemtrails, which are just vapor trails? There is nothing sinister if you understand very, very basic hydrodynamics. Nonetheless, there is more to come. Because not only are these clones, or celebrity clones, they also travel through time. So the thing about Greta Thunberg appearing everywhere, I don't think that's evidence of some great time-travelling conspiracy theory. Because firstly, there will be people throughout history who've looked a bit like her. And in the modern world, whenever some shit is going down, you can pretty much guarantee that the Swedish Doom Goblin will be there. As for celebrities looking a bit different to the rest of us, yes, most of them are very attractive people. That's why they're on the TV and the silver screen. You won't see someone like me on the electric fish tank. Actually, I think I may be discussing part of the video you haven't yet seen. So, have I travelled through time? Or have I just fucked up the editing?
I've seen a Greta Thunberg clone, and many other clones, to say the least. At first you might think it's doppelgangers, the gene pool, but there's something else going on because most of the common folk don't look like each other, and they don't look like the people that you see on television. Very few people do. Here we've got footage of what looks like a cell phone back in the 1950s. These celebrity time-traveling clones are basically another phenomenon all to itself. But the evidence gets weirder. It's like the movie The Matrix, where we have like Neo born on 9/11, predictive programming. And that's another thing, the predictive programming. What's going on? And these death towers beaming us like the Starship Enterprise.
All of the shots of the black and white film with the pantomime zebra, or zebra if you're watching in the New World, that's linked to an old conspiracy theory, because if you look carefully, someone walks past the camera with their hand to their ear. And the Tinfoil Brigade decided this was proof that people were using mobile phones in the 40s and 50s. Unfortunately, this was debunked on the British TV show QI many years ago when Stephen Fry still presented it, basically when it was good. That person is carrying a small portable ear trumpet, basically a very, very simple version of a hearing aid so they can hear what's happening in front of them on a busy street. That's all it is. Then we get to The Matrix. We saw there that Neo's birth date in The Matrix, played by Keanu Reeves, is the 11th of September 2001. Except that's bullshit. That's Photoshop. Something which conspiracy theorists are very keen to avoid admitting to whenever it undermines their own argument. In the movie, Neo's birth date is shown as 1962 and 1973. I think one of them is for a fake ID, although why on earth you try and make yourself look 11 years younger, although saying that it's Keanu Reeves and that fucker hasn't aged since Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. But it's bullshit. It's throwing a date in there with historical significance that wasn't in the original film because the original film was released in the late 1990s. I said we'd see some weird people. So we saw a couple who were very much in love, who were very happy, or at least one of them will be very happy when the other one dies. A woman who thinks she's defeated the conservative argument on gender ideology by not understanding very, very basic biology. A man who is as convincing as passing himself off as a woman as if I put on a gingham dress and said, I am now Judy Garland, and a conspiracy theorist who, like most conspiracy theorists, doesn't understand anything. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already, and as ever, thanks for watching. My first video, I fucked that up already. With a couple who seem to be very happy, an interracial couple. Of course, there's nothing, I fucked that up as well. So that's a man who has very slightly more hair than me, wearing a girdle to bollocks to it, fuck it. We have a man wearing a girdle to compress his rather large overweight stomach whilst wearing a bollocks to it. Seriously, are we going back to these bullshit allegations of vaccines and microchips? Kids today don't know how lucky they are. When I was a lad growing up in the 80s, if they want to vaccinate you, you had to have a ZX Spectrum injected into your arm. Katy Perry just collapsed, something which oh, fuck it. Go again. We saw Katy Perry appear to collapse, something which I believe she's done. Bollocks to it, fuck it.